Cold showers will make you sick. Ice baths are dangerous. Winter swimming? That's just asking for hypothermia. Sound familiar? Well, what if I told you that people who take cold showers for just 30 seconds a day miss 29% fewer days of work, and that's not even the most shocking finding. Today I'm diving into over 30 peer-reviewed studies from 2020 to 2025 that completely flip everything you thought you knew about cold water exposure. And trust me, what the scientists discovered about your immune system will absolutely blow your mind. Welcome back to Health Science for All. Today we're not talking about what some influencer thinks. We're talking about what actually happened when scientists put 3,000 people through cold showers, stuck volunteers in ice baths while scanning their brains, and even injected bacterial toxins into people trained by the Iceman Wim Hof. But first, let me tell you about the study that changed everything. In 2016, Dutch scientists did something unprecedented. They recruited 3,018 healthy adults, that's right, over 3,000 people, and randomly assigned them to take cold showers for either 30, 60, or 90 seconds every day, or to stay in their warm, comfortable shower routine. This wasn't some wellness retreat, this was Buise and colleagues from the Academic Medical Center Amsterdam conducting one of the largest randomized controlled trials on cold exposure ever attempted. After 30 days of cold showers followed by 60 days of follow-up, here's what they found. The cold shower groups had a 29% reduction in sickness absence from work. Let me repeat that, people taking cold showers missed almost a third fewer days of work. But here's the kicker. They didn't actually get sick less often. They reported the same number of illness days as the control group. They just went to work anyway. The scientists were puzzled. How could people be equally sick but miss less work? This is where things get really interesting. In 2024, Egyptian researchers decided to dig deeper. They took 60 healthy adults and randomized them to take either cold or hot showers daily for 90 days. They didn't just ask how people felt, they measured their actual immune markers, immunoglobulins IgG, IgA, and IgM, plus interleukins IL-2 and IL-4. Results? The cold shower group showed significant increases in all immunoglobulin levels. Their IL-2 levels, critical for T-cell proliferation, went up. Their IL-4 levels, essential for antibody production, increased. Meanwhile, the hot shower group, their IgM levels actually decreased. But wait, if cold showers boost immunity, why didn't the Dutch study show fewer sick days? This is where my personal experience comes in. I've done winter swimming in frozen lakes. I've skydived at 15,000 feet in just a t-shirt when it's below zero up there and 20 degrees on the ground. And here's what I noticed. The people who do these extreme activities almost never get sick. Turns out, there's hard science behind this observation. It's called Hormesis, from the Greek meaning to set in motion. Here's how it works. When you expose your body to a brief, intense stressor like jumping into ice water or leaping from a plane, your sympathetic nervous system goes absolutely haywire. Scientists who studied skydivers found massive spikes in epinephrine, adrenaline, increased by over 200%, norepinephrine, through the roof. Cortisol, acute spike then rapid recovery. Natural killer cells boost, your body's first-line immune defense. Research tracked skydivers' immune response. They found increased lymphocytes, enhanced natural killer cell activity, and elevated nerve growth factor. Your body literally mobilizes its entire defense system. But here's where science fiction becomes science fact. Cox et al. 2014, researchers at Radboud University in the Netherlands did something that rewrote the textbooks. They took 24 healthy volunteers. Half were trained for 10 days by Wim Hof, the guy who holds 26 world records for cold exposure. The training included cold water immersion, standing in snow, swimming in ice water at 0 to 1 degrees Celsius. Breathing techniques, hyperventilation followed by breath retention, meditation. Then, and this is where it gets crazy, they injected all participants with bacterial endotoxin. This is basically injecting them with dead bacteria that triggers a massive immune response. You get fever, chills, headaches, basically the flu. The untrained group? They got exactly what you'd expect. Full-blown flu symptoms. The trained group? Their epinephrine levels increased by 200%. Their anti-inflammatory IL-10 increased rapidly. Their pro-inflammatory cytokines TNF-A, Illinois, 6 and IL-8 were 50% lower. Translation: they voluntarily controlled their immune system, something every medical textbook said was impossible. British neuroscientists, Yankuskia et al. 2023, put 33 people in brain scanners before and after 5-minute cold water baths at 20 degrees Celsius. What they found was remarkable. Cold water immersion increased connectivity between brain regions controlling attention and focus, frontal cortex, emotional regulation, anterior cingulate, self-awareness, insula. Participants reported feeling more active, alert, attentive, proud, and inspired, less nervous and distressed. The ratio of positive to negative emotions went from 1.75 before cold exposure to 3.0 after. Psychologists say a 3:1 ratio distinguishes thriving individuals from those who are struggling. Here's something fascinating. Multiple studies measured heart rate variability, basically how adaptable your nervous system is. The optimal protocol? 14 degrees Celsius water for 15 minutes. This specific combination maximally activated the parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest response. But during the actual cold exposure, your heart rate spikes, blood pressure increases, and your body thinks you're being chased by a tiger. This is the key. It's not about being calm in the cold. It's about how quickly you recover after the stress. Now, before you run off to take ice baths, let me tell you what the science doesn't support. Weight loss. Sorry, no evidence that cold showers melt fat in humans. The brown adipose tissue activation seen in winter swimmers doesn't translate to weight loss in regular folks. Depression cure. While one researcher proposed cold showers for depression in 2008, we have 0 randomized controlled trials proving it works for clinical depression. Muscle building. Actually the opposite. Regular cold water immersion after training reduces muscle growth and strength gains. Mood enhancement. The only RCT found no difference in mood scores between cold immersion and control groups. Here's the weirdest finding. The massive 2025 meta-analysis by Kane and colleagues analyzed 11 RCTs with 3,177 participants. They found that immediately after cold water immersion, inflammation markers actually increased, SMD 1.03. 1 hour later, still elevated, SMD 1.26. But 12 hours later, stress levels dropped significantly, SMD minus 1.00. It's like your body needs to freak out first before it can level up. So how does brief, intense stress make you more resilient? Think of it like a fire drill. When you expose yourself to controlled stress, whether it's cold water, skydiving, or any acute challenge, you're training your stress response system. Your body releases a cascade of stress hormones and immune factors. Norepinephrine floods your system. Natural killer cells mobilize. Heat shock proteins activate. Anti-inflammatory pathways engage. But here's the critical part. It has to be brief and intense. Chronic cold exposure doesn't work. Lukewarm doesn't work. The sweet spot. Temperature, 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Duration, 30 seconds to 5 minutes. Frequency, daily or every other day. Now here's a massive issue with this research. Of the 11 studies in the biggest meta-analysis, 10 used only male participants. The one study with women? That was the Dutch mega-study where 55% were female. So we actually have very limited data on how cold water affects women specifically. This is a huge problem because we know stress responses differ between sexes. Look, I've shown you results from over 30 studies involving more than 3,000 participants. Here's what the science actually supports. Strong evidence for 29% reduction in work absenteeism, enhanced immune markers after 90 days, improved stress resilience, 12 hours post-exposure, better heart rate variability, voluntary immune system control, with training, no evidence for weight loss, curing depression, building muscle, immediate mood boost. Who should not do this? People with heart conditions, weakened immune systems, uncontrolled high blood pressure. So here's my challenge. Start with 30 seconds. That's it. The Dutch study found no difference between 30, 60, or 90 seconds. The immune system responds to the shock, not the duration. End your regular shower with 30 seconds of cold. Not freezing, just cold enough to make you gasp. Do it for 30 days. Track your sick days. See what happens. Remember, you're literally more likely to die driving to work than from a 30-second cold shower. But that 30 seconds might mean you actually make it to work when everyone else is calling in sick. The science is clear. Brief cold exposure creates a hormetic stress response that enhances immune function and stress resilience. It's not magic, it's not a cure-all, but it's a free, accessible tool that might keep you healthier. If you found this eye-opening, subscribe for more evidence-based health content. Share this with someone who thinks cold showers are crazy. And remember, every comfortable person was once uncomfortable. Are you willing to be uncomfortable for 30 seconds a day? This is Health Science for All, where we turn research into results.